Good morning, Fit in 5 Tribe. Happy Friday. I am pretty excited. We are on day 5 of our challenge. I got my workout in today, so I'm super excited that I stuck with it, and I'm hoping that you all did too. I'm really excited to see everybody post their stuff today. So please let me see you doing your last workout. I'd love to see what you're up to. So as promised, today we're going to talk about insulin. Yeah, it's this overwhelming topic. It's super sciencey, and I kind of geek out on it myself, but I'm going to try to keep it really simple. I'm actually going to give you a visual demonstration today about what your body does with insulin. So I just want to preface this by telling you I am not a doctor, and I don't have a degree in biology. And I'm not an expert on metabolic processes. However, I do know a little bit about insulin, and I do know how it affects especially women's bodies and how we process and manage fat stores as adipose tissue, which is the stuff on our organs, and as subcutaneous fat, which is the stuff that gets stuck on our love handles and back fat and bellies. Okay, so that is what I do know. So my whole program is designed around how to create the best environment for insulin so that your body learns to burn fat instead of store fat. Okay, so insulin has kind of a bad rap, but it's a pretty awesome hormone. I mean, it does so many things, but the main thing it does is it regulates how our body stores fat. Okay, so its main job is to remove glucose or sugars from our cell membranes and process them. So let me say that again. It's going to remove the sugar or glucose from our cell membranes and process them. Okay, so being insulin sensitive is where you want to be. So I'm a pretty insulin sensitive person, and I have become a little bit more resistant because of my injury and not being as active as I usually am. So with that being said, I'll tell you a little bit about insulin sensitivity. You want your body to be sensitive to every time your pancreas releases insulin. So every time you eat something, your body releases that hormone, no matter if it's kale or if it's a McDonald's cheeseburger or if it's a milkshake. Your body's going to secrete insulin, okay? So if your body is insulin sensitive, it can process that easily and it's happy. If your body is insulin resistant, and people think insulin resistant is only if you're overweight or obese. That's not the case at all, okay? So you can be insulin resistant and still be a skinny fat person. A lot of times if you're storing body fat in places, especially on your bra strap or love handles or belly, you might have a little insulin resistance going. Or if you've noticed that you can't build muscle as easily as you would like, or you're not getting the results in your gym, it might be you have a little insulin resistance. So you don't have to be diabetic or pre-diabetic or any of those things to have a little bit of that insulin resistance. In fact, there has been studies shown that even some athletic builds and people that are very athletic have some insulin resistance. So you want to make sure that you're eating foods appropriate for you. Okay, so the great thing about insulin is that it can remove that glucose from our bloodstream. And when I say glucose, I mean sugar. And when I say sugar, I mean carbohydrates. And when I say carbohydrates, that doesn't just mean a Snickers bar. Okay, that can mean excessive fruit. That can mean all the things that you think are healthy can also be stored as excessive glucose in your body. Okay, so once your body is misusing carbohydrates, or you've misused it for a long amount of time, your body creates a resistance to insulin. So what happens is the cell membrane shut down. It's like if someone's knocking on your door and knocking, and no one's answering. And they keep knocking, but no one's letting them in. So the blood sugar goes in and tries, and it can't get through the cell membrane, so it's stored in our body as fat. No fun. Nobody wants that. Okay, so once those fatty acids are running around in your bloodstream, they get deposited as visceral adipose tissue, which is the very dangerous kind of fat in our body, or adipose tissue, which is where we find those trouble spots, those upper arm areas, behind the back, right back here, back in your love handles and your belly. Okay, so that is when you're creating some insulin resistance. So we need to combat that and fight it. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. I'm going to give you a few tips here, but my program is designed specifically to help you combat that in every way, not only beating it from nutrition standpoint, but also beating it from the specific way your exercise program is set up, okay? Because there's a specific way you exercise in order to gain the most amount of recovery from being insulin resistant. Exercise is not all the same here, okay? So I just want to put that out there. So if you're on my program already, or if you're dabbling in it, this will help you understand why there's a method to my madness. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little example. Now, if you've ever trained with me, you will know this example and you might be like, Jen, really? You're going to do this again? Yes, I am, because I think it's the best way to explain what happens to your body. Okay, so your body can hold about 100 milliliters of glucose or sugar at one time without it storing its body fat. That's pretty rough. So that's kind of an average person, but that's basically 5 teaspoons of sugar. Now, if you were looking at a glass of orange juice, that's like about 15 teaspoons of sugar. So just keep that in mind. So the thing that I want to remind you of is that's what's going on in your body. So that can mean it's not always, a Snickers bar, right? It can also, we've learned, it can also be a glass of orange juice. It can be, a banana. It can be something super healthy, right? That can cause your blood sugar levels to rise, all right? So if we wake up in the morning and say we have one person here, and each person wakes up and they have like a little tiny bit in their body that their cells are holding or their liver is holding, okay? They got like a little bit left. See that? So if you wake up in the morning and you got a little bit left, and this person over here gets up and they decide, wow, I'm going to get up and do my workout. Okay, I'm going to do the workout that Jen has me do. I'm going to get up and do that right away. Well, guess what happens to this water? It's gone. This water's still full. This person's still full over here, okay? So now this person has a completely empty liver of glucose, and now it's primed for fat burning, okay? The only time your body can burn fat is when there is not that glucose present. Okay, sugars, carbohydrates, not present. Now we're burning fat. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. We're creating more insulin sensitivity. Yes, awesome stuff. Okay, now this person over here doesn't work out. Okay, and now they're gonna have breakfast and they're gonna have a glass of orange juice because that's super healthy. They're gonna have some healthy oatmeal, even if it's the regular kind of oatmeal with no sugar added. They're gonna put that in their body and they're gonna slice some bananas in it. So now they've just done what I like to call a glucose dump. So now this is what their body looks like. It's full, 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 full. Oh, it's like right there. Wow. So when we get to this line, this is when we start to dump glucose into our body that is stored as body fat. This person's still over here. Cool, right? This person's awesome. This person's going to have a super healthy breakfast with some eggs and maybe some, very high fiber fruit and, maybe some greens, and they're going to be straight over here. So now they're just going to, they're just right here now. Awesome. They're doing good. So now this person's going to be like going through their day. And so maybe that much goes out because they sit at a desk, right? This person's going to go out their day and maybe a little goes out too because they sit at their desk. Sweet. Now this person right here is going to go to Subway maybe and have a super healthy whole wheat sandwich with some really lean turkey and lots of vegetables and maybe those baked lays. Well, guess what? Look what happens. They've now put more glucose into their body and watch. Oh, spills over. All that spillover is stored as body fat. Adipose tissue, which is the visceral kind, visceral adipose tissue, or subcutaneous fat. Sticks on your love handle, sticks on your belly, sticks on your back. This person's going to go maybe have a big, huge salad that's on maybe one of my diet detox programs, a big, huge kale salad. Maybe they throw in some tofu or salmon or something like that on it. And it's a big, nice, juicy salad with a low sugar dressing. Okay, so maybe they're going to go, okay, now my insulin's going to go, whoop. So maybe now I'm up to here. Okay, but now this person's going to go back to their desk and they're going to sit there and they're going to maybe all afternoon, maybe now they're here. Okay, this person's going to go back to their desk, and instead of going right back to their desk, they might go for a 5-minute walk. Now they're back down to here. Okay, it's about 3 p.m. and this person's exhausted. Their body's full. Their pancreas is working overtime. They've got the lulls. It's 3 p.m. They want to take a nap. And then they're like, oh, maybe I'll have a healthy apple. Well, guess what? That apple still has carbohydrates. Watch what happens. Spillage. More fat right into their system. This person maybe has a handful of almonds. Nothing happens. Okay, this person goes home, decides to make dinner, but they want a glass of wine first. Guess what? More spillage. And then they have whole wheat pasta. It keeps spilling with maybe some healthy ground turkey and a salad. Still spilling. Fat storage. This person maybe, right here, might have a big, huge salad, a nice piece of protein, or maybe some, if you're a vegan or you don't eat meat, maybe some tofu and some beans and something super healthy like that. So maybe now this person does this. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All day long, they've not spilled over to store our body fat. All day long, this person thinks they're being healthy and they've all stored body fat all day long. So again, let's be clear. This person's going to go through their night now, and it's going to run down. So now they're going to be empty when they go to bed. All night long, they're priming themselves to wake up in the morning and again burn body fat. This person is maybe going to burn that much in the morning, and then they wake up and their liver and their pancreas is going to have to still work overtime to keep it from spilling over. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. This is my little trick that I show everybody when I'm trying to explain how to eat, okay? How to prime your body to be fat-burning machines and not store it. So this is the way that I explain it. Hopefully it was helpful. And if anybody has any questions on it, let me know. But that's kind of an insulin, very kind of basic breakdown. I hope I didn't go too far and create some confusion. But that's basically what happens in our body. So let's just go through that again. I want to make sure everyone understands that you can try to be as healthy as you can, but if you're not eating the right foods at the right times, you can still store body fat. Okay, so there's different exercises you can do to kind of help mitigate that. There's also some things you can do to help sensitize your insulin or be insulin sensitive. There are supplements that you can take. So I'm a really big fan of chromium. It can help you if you're insulin resistant. I'm also a huge fan of getting more potassium and vitamin B1 into your system. Potassium helps your pancreas kind of regulate that insulin, and so does your B1. And if you're insulin resistant, your pancreas also is responsible for digestive issues because it has the enzymes that actually support digestion. So a lot of the times if you're insulin resistant, you're not getting the nutrients that you need because your pancreas is working overtime and it's not able to support that enzymatic process that it needs to break down food. So you might have digestive issues also. So if you're bloated all the time and you're constantly having some, situations with your acid reflux, you might also be a little insulin resistant. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so I've talked a lot about insulin. I hope that helps people understand it. If it did, great. But in the interim, I have some really fabulous news. So I'm going to log off for just a second, clean up this mess. I'm going to come back on in like 2 minutes live, and I'm going to make a really cool announcement that is going to hopefully get a lot of you excited. So let me clean up my mess, and then I will be back in 2 minutes. So hop on here if you're ready to hear about my super exciting new announcement. Okay, guys.